From faulty products to crime-fighting tactics, our On Your Side safety team works every day to keep you informed and empowered so you can protect yourself and the people you care about. Thank you for joining us for this On Your Side safety team special. I'm Riley Wyant. We start with a danger beaming into the sky that could lead to catastrophe. Laser strikes on airplanes and choppers are soaring across our region. Sarah Shackles shows us how these laser strikes can have your pilots flying blind.
I'm sitting in the cockpit of a police patrol aircraft that's part of the Metro Aviation Unit. One of the biggest concerns when there's a laser strike is that it blinds the pilots because they're unable to see any of their instruments in the cockpit.
Air 3, I know you guys are busy, but we're getting crushed with a laser.
Scenes like this one playing out all too often across the country. Someone hitting Marine One with a laser just weeks ago. Strikes happening here at home, too. A green laser shown from a Chesterfield construction site hits a police plane in July last year. 2 months later, another green laser strike from kids in Henrico.
Unit, if you could seize the laser, identify the individual, and then we can get you a code number for the summons.
Meantime, earlier this year,
They're hitting some inbound aircraft, and they're hitting us right now.
police caught in the crossfire of a blue laser strike, responding after several commercial pilots reported being hit while trying to land at Richmond International Airport.
We have pilots coming in from all over the world, and most of our laser incidents occur at night. And these pilots that are coming into this airport may not always be familiar with the area, so they're flying instrument approaches and also using the approach light at the airport. So when their aircraft is struck by a laser, it's very similar to driving a car with a strobe light in your face.
Sergeant Michael Somerville with Henrico Police oversees the Metro Aviation Unit. He says blinding the pilots with lasers not only puts passengers at risk, but those on the ground as well. It's a federal crime to shine a laser pointer at an aircraft, and the penalties are steep. The FAA says it fines violators up to $11,000 per offense. Those convicted often face additional criminal penalties from federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies, including prison time. The FAA recorded nearly 13,000 laser strikes on aircraft across the U.S. in 2024 and nearly 6,000 so far this year.
Pointing a laser at an aircraft is a serious offense. If you see someone doing it, make sure to reach out to your local law enforcement. In Henrico at RIC, Sarah Shackles, 12 on your side.
Experts are seeing a rise in mental health issues across Virginia, with the largest jump being among adults dealing with other health problems. I sat down with medical professionals from across the Commonwealth to learn more on what is being done to help Virginians. Mental health problems are showing up more frequently in Virginia hospitals, even when patients are admitted for unrelated issues.
We're talking about 26% increase over 5 years in depression diagnoses. We're talking about 45% increase in PTSD diagnoses. So those are substantial numbers. They're numbers that make you pause and do further evaluation.
Julian Walker with the Virginia Hospital and Healthcare Association says hospitals are seeing the biggest surge among older adults, a group already managing complex health issues.
Our data shows that there was a 39% increase in depression diagnoses over that 5-year period, 2020 to 2024, for patients who are 60 plus who were admitted for inpatient care in a hospital.
Community hospitals are handling most of these admissions, as state psychiatric facilities have not expanded at the same pace.
There are a significant number of hospitals with behavioral health inpatient units and not as many state hospitals, meaning government psychiatric hospitals. Our members are handling the overwhelming majority of these admissions every year. You look year over year, and our hospitals are handling in excess of 90% of the behavioral health inpatient admission.
And once patients are admitted, their stays are lasting longer, requiring more staff and resources.
Several years ago, when you looked at the average length of stay for a behavioral health admission, on average, it was somewhere in the magnitude of about 6.5 days. It is now 8.7 days. So what that indicates is it requires, in many cases, more staff involvement, more resource investment, a longer period of time to address that patient's needs.
Walker points to the pandemic as a turning point when all types of hospital visits fell except for mental health visits, which held steady.
There is data that suggests that Americans feel like their overall mental well-being has declined, even while a lot of other hospital utilization declined during the pandemic. People were still seeking mental health, behavioral health care.
Walker says these numbers are a wake-up call, and meeting the growing demand for behavioral health care will require everyone from providers to policymakers to act.
There is growing demand for care, and there is, accordingly, an enhanced need for clinical folks, hospitals, and policymakers to continue to work together to really look at these thorny issues and try to come up with solutions.
Shootings along Virginia highways seem to be happening more these days. State police there say that there have been more than 230 reported since 2023, several of them right here in our area on Interstates 295, 64, and 81. Troopers say that in many of the cases they've investigated, most did not start with road rage. Now, they say most of them occurred off of the roadways and then transitioned to the interstate. Sergeant Jessica Sheehan says if you should ever experience violence on the road, be sure to say something.
So people calling in, and then also our partnerships with our local agencies are phenomenal. Being able to work closely with the people that are also investigating these things and that also have a vested interest in getting the cases solved has helped us get these convictions.
Sergeant Sheehan says when you call pound 77, it connects you directly to state police, which is who leads all investigations on the interstates. A different type of warning now from state police. They say they're seeing a spike in insurance fraud cases. One of the most common scams the agency has seen is an increase in staged car crashes across the Commonwealth. Troopers also say the scheme could involve unsuspecting drivers, making them a victim of insurance fraud. If you think you have information about an insurance fraud case leading to an arrest, state police say you could qualify for a reward. Just send your tips to the agency's Stamp Out Fraud website. After a car crash, most of us know to check for injuries and, of course, damage to our vehicles. But what about your child's car seat? A Consumer Reports expert found out for herself why it's so important to check it after an accident. Rachel DePompa explains.
Consumer Reports car seat safety expert Emily Thomas was recently rear-ended on a highway. Thankfully, she's okay, and her kids were not in the car, but their car seats were. That raised a big question for any parent. Do you need to replace a car seat after a crash?
If you've been in a minor crash, you may not need to replace your car seats. But if it's been a moderate to severe crash, then you should definitely replace them. Always follow the instructions from your car seat manufacturer.
So what's considered a minor crash? Here's a checklist from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. If any of these criteria are not met, it's time to get a new car seat.
In my case, the car seats looked fine. There was no visible damage. There were also no injuries sustained in the crash. The impact was at the rear of the vehicle, so the doors closest to the car seats were not damaged. However, both vehicles were towed and there was airbag deployment. So this counts as a moderate to severe crash and the car seats have to be replaced.
Some child car seat manufacturers say you should replace their car seats after any crash. You should follow the instructions of your car seat manufacturer.
If your car seats need to be replaced, talk to your insurance company about covering the cost. I'll also need to properly dispose of my car seats so no one else uses them. Remove all the covers, cut the harness straps, and mark the shell with do not use.
Even when your kids are not in the car, make sure their car seats are properly secured. If you have a booster seat, buckle it in. When riding with your kids, make sure your child is properly harnessed, snug, and at the correct height. For the On Your Side Safety Team, I'm Rachel DePompa.
Avoid buying a used car seat if possible, but if you need to get a secondhand one, Consumer Reports has an interactive decision chart to find out whether the seat is safe to use. We have that link to it on 12onyourside.com. Still ahead, Alzheimer's and dementia impacting thousands of Virginians this holiday season. And as the weather gets colder, experts are sharing tips on how to keep your relatives safe in case they venture out unexpectedly. Plus, millions of Americans suffering from a form of liver disease. When we come back, the On Your Side Safety Team has tips to help you and your family stay healthy.
We're so grateful everyone got that first alert and was prepared.
When winter weather hits, you can't afford to be a step behind. First Alert weather days keep you ahead. giving you the earliest warning when conditions are about to change. Our team is locked in, zeroed in, street by street, hour by hour. We track impacts as they happen, accurate, early, and always focused on your safety. 12 is on your side with First Alert Weather.
Weather in Central Virginia can change in an instant. So now is the perfect time to get the free 12 on your side First Alert Weather app. Scan the QR code or search WWBT First Alert in your app store. Stay ahead of the storm with interactive radar and real-time alerts down to your location. When severe weather hits, every second counts. The 12 on your side First Alert Weather Team, safety in the palm of your hand. Download the app today.
With cooler temperatures sweeping across the Commonwealth, this time of year can be a troubling one for many families who have relatives who suffer from Alzheimer's or dementia. But the On Your Side safety team may be able to help. Franklin White spoke with experts from the Alzheimer's Association and has some safety tips for caregivers to help you navigate keeping them safe during the winter months.
From freezing temperatures to snow and icy conditions, this time of year can be extremely dangerous, especially for the more than 165,000 people living with Alzheimer's or dementia in Virginia. Rachel Lawson, Senior Program Manager with the Alzheimer's Association, says dementia patients are easily confused, can often wander, and get lost in frigid weather. That's why she says it's important to be prepared. And it starts with having a plan in place. That can include having a location device on them at all times and being fully aware of the weather conditions.
We want to make sure that folks have what they need lined up because we never know when that emergency can hit. It may be caused by the weather, or it could be caused by an event that impacts another family member. It could even be the caregiver that is suffering from an emergency.
Next, she says, make sure the person living with Alzheimer's or dementia is bundled up and dressed warmly in case they wander into the cold.
Oftentimes we hear about the senior alerts that are out there about somebody that goes missing. And if you listen really closely and hear what they're wearing when they go missing, typically it's something that they should not be outside in at that given time. It's shorts and a t-shirt when it's cold weather, or it's sweatshirts and sweatpants when it's warm weather.
Also, prevent slips and make sure your loved one is wearing sturdy shoes at all times.
We know that as folks continue to age, there's a risk of falls. But when we add in memory loss and poor judgment with vision or vision concerns, that increases the possibility of somebody living with dementia to have a fall, whether that's on steps or slippery surfaces.
And finally, buddy up, meaning don't forget to take care of yourself too. According to an Alzheimer's Association survey, 84% of caregivers say they need more support.
But having that companion, that friend, family member that can buddy alongside of you as the caregiver or the person living with dementia to help in any way. We know that caregiving is stressful, and having that support is very important.
For the On Your Side safety team, I'm Franklin White.
Across the nation, more than 100 million Americans have some type of liver disease, according to the American Liver Foundation. Macy Moores with the On Your Side safety team spoke with a local doctor about what all of us need to know to stay healthy.
It's the second largest organ in your body, and it's located right under your rib cage on your right side. It's your liver. It processes what you consume and breaks it down into nutrients your body uses. According to the American Liver Foundation, 100 million Americans have some type of liver disease.
Liver disease can affect anybody.
VCU's Dr. Richard Sterling has been a global leader in clinical and translational research and care for patients with liver disease and related metabolic disorders for years. He says liver disease symptoms can be alarming.
You can become jaundiced. Your eyes could turn yellow when your urine dark. You could become more fatigued. You could develop more easy bruising because your liver can't make clotting proteins. You can develop confusion.
And the list goes on. Dr. Sterling says, thankfully, though, there are treatments for types of liver diseases.
We have newer therapies. There's currently 2 therapies now available for people with the metabolic associated steatotic liver disease, or MASLD, again, formerly called non-alcoholic fatty liver. We are working on newer treatments for alcohol-related liver disease.
Therapies include certain procedures like transplants and gene therapy. Dr. Sterling says those diagnosed with any type of liver disease could also have to make lifestyle changes.
I think it's important to maintain a good weight, a healthy weight, not to drink alcohol to excess, and to exercise. And it's really, I think, those are the standard things that we, tell people. Most people, even if they have a liver disease, they're not going to die from it. They probably will die with the liver problem, but that doesn't mean we can't do things to try to mitigate the chances of going on to develop more liver scarring.
Dr. Sterling will also be honored by the American Liver Foundation next month at their annual Liver Life Walk in Richmond for his research. For more details on how to take part, you can visit our website, 12onyourside.com. For 12 on Your Side Safety Team, I'm Macy Moores.
With the constant development of technology, online safety is more important than ever before. After the break, our On Your Side safety team shares some tips from experts to help you stay safe the next time you open up that browser.
It felt like nobody really cared.
Every kid out there should be able to see themselves as a hero.
Had you not seen our investigation, what would you have done?
It's overwhelming, it's disappointing, and it's frightening.
Can someone lie?
Yes, absolutely.
How do you respond to that?
I work hard for my money.
It was the worst experience of my life. It's just like kind of too hard to get into, honestly.
He took his last breath in my arms.
We've got to get pilots informed about this.
A lot of the kids are getting them illegally. I mean, you can go online and buy stuff.
I know that I'm a part of a big project, and it feels amazing.
What's the worst case scenario if nothing changes?
If this doesn't change, will people get hurt?
I thought we were going to die.
As we sit here today, no regrets.
This costed me my childhood.
This is cyber warfare.
Honestly, it saved my life.
Watch Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 on 12 on Your Side. Unlocking your business potential takes the right digital strategy and the right partner. At Great Digital Media, we're that partner you can trust because we know local. We develop the right message to grab attention and drive leads with custom strategies designed to grow your brand and reach your customers across the streaming apps you know best. Your business will show up in the social feeds we all use every day, and we'll help you leverage the power of Google and talk to the right audience on YouTube. Our marketing experts connect you with customers right here in Richmond and wherever your audience is. Together, we'll find new customers and get results that matter to you and your business. Cutting-edge strategies backed by local expertise. That's the Gray Media difference. We know local. Let's connect today. gdmrichmond.com.
We all love going out, and across the country, online dating has become one of the most popular ways for people to sit down and potentially meet that dream man or woman. But online dating can come with some safety risks. I sat down with experts to learn more about the signs you should watch out for before meeting with your digital friend in real life.
Sometimes it can be extremely overwhelming for people, but it is become an ingrained part of our society nowadays.
About 3 in 10 Americans have used a dating app at some point in their lives, and that number is only expected to rise. While some say it's changed the dating landscape for the better, the apps have also become a breeding ground for harassment and abuse.
That's everything from, harassing comments to image-based sexual abuse, which is like sending explicit photos or asking for explicit photos. It can lead to stalking and assault.
Tyler Wallace works for Safe Harbor, a Richmond nonprofit providing support for survivors of sexual and domestic violence.
It shouldn't be on the onus of women and the people that experience violence to protect themselves. The onus should be on the perpetrators to stop perpetrating violence. But hopefully there are a few things that we can do to kind of, minimize that risk.
Let's dive into some of those safety tips. First, keep an eye out for catfishing when someone isn't who they say they are. Don't hesitate to do a little sleuthing of your own. Check them out on social media. If they don't have a profile picture or their page looks like they just created it,
that's definitely a red flag that maybe either they're not who they say they are or they're not on those apps for the right reasons.
Another obvious red flag when someone online asks for financial assistance. But there are more discreet behaviors that should also set off alarms.
When some of their stories seem disconnected or disjointed, or maybe they're just grandiose and just don't really make sense, that's a red flag. A lot of the times also we see people asking security questions. So if somebody's asking you, what street did you grow up on? Or, you know, what's your first pet's name? That can be a definite red flag.
If you're meeting someone for the first time, ask to FaceTime or video chat before the first date.
And you should also never rely on that person for transportation. You know, always have your own transportation or a way to get, you know, an Uber or a Lyft. Make sure your phone is charged. And also make sure that somebody knows where you are.
Also, meet in a public place.
A lot of people assume that public parks are a good idea, but those places have a lot of areas where they can be very isolating.
Instead, opt for a coffee shop, restaurant, bar, or brewery where you're more comfortable.
We say a lot of times just to trust your instincts, like going with your gut. If something feels wrong or weird, it probably is.
With our daily lives constantly tied to our phones, digital threats are a top concern for many of us across the nation, creating a society that has trust issues, which experts say is actually a good thing. In an era where technology is always advancing, Dr. Christopher Wyant says understanding the intersection of technology and security is vital. He says having a zero trust approach might just be the thing that keeps you or your loved ones from being scammed.
Your average person tends to think about the personal safety piece of it, but they're strongly connected. 2025, following on from 2024, we've seen extensive new forms of attack against America's critical infrastructure by actors across that criminal to nation-state gamut.
Dr. Wyant says keeping track of the advancing technology may seem daunting, but the more we learn, the better we adapt. Well, you've heard people say video games are too violent and may lead to real-world violence, but now researchers at VCU are hoping to use video games to reduce violence. Dr. Nicholas Thompson is creating a new method for dealing with violence through video games, teaching kids how to resolve their problems without taking drastic measures. The director of VCU's Injury and Violence Prevention Program is using virtual reality sets to immerse kids in a game that teaches about conflict resolution, gun safety, and cyberbullying.
Every researcher in this field ultimately wants to see violent crime come down, violent victimization come down. And if this can be part of the solution that is scalable, that would be an incredible accomplishment.
Over the next 5 years, the study will include 360 young people who have been hospitalized due to violence. They will complete the VR program before being discharged. Then the VCU research team will follow their progress for 6 months. We're back in just a moment. Welcome back. When fall and spring roll along across the Commonwealth, you may not be the only one suffering from those seasonal allergies. Your four-legged friends can also suffer, making it rough during colder months. Our Macy Moores offers a checklist on how to help your pets deal with allergies.
It's real. I mean, we have animals that we've done like full diagnostic allergy panels, and they're literally like allergic to air and grass.
It's not just people who suffer from allergies. Pet allergies are on the rise. Your pet can be allergic to grass, pollen, dust, and even certain foods, just like us. Director of Richmond Animal Care and Control, Christy Chips Peters, says a change in your pet's behavior can be a sign your pet is having an allergic reaction.
Any swelling anywhere, sometimes, you know, dogs that are allergic to grass, they'll get a rash on their feet or on their belly. Anything that's ingested that they are allergic to, you're going to see a little bit of different symptoms, but you'll see maybe they vomit, maybe they have awful diarrhea.
Chips Peters says be mindful when it comes to changing your pet's diet and be aware of adding new houseplants. She also says pet owners should not be giving their furry friends any medication like Benadryl unless approved by a vet.
Do not go rogue. It could cause more issues than you know.
Chips Peters says if you think your pet is having an allergic reaction, it's best to get them checked out immediately.
You know, time, it's like people, time is of the essence, so don't hesitate.
And pet allergies are more common than you think. A new survey done by Trupanion found the number of dogs and cats with allergy-related issues is up 17% in Virginia over the past 5 years. It's the 9th highest increase nationwide. Data also shows certain breeds are more prone to allergies than others without a known cause.
Cocker Spaniels, English Bulldogs, Basset Hounds, French Bulldogs tend to be at the top of the list.
For more information and tips when it comes to pet allergies, you can visit our website, 12onyourside.com. In Richmond, I'm Macy Moores for 12 on Your Side.
If you have a story you want us to look into, you can email us at safetyteam@12onyourside.com. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.